guys, welcome back. So earlier in a previous video, you guys see me do an unboxing of the Cabela's commercial grade vacuum sealer. So now I'm going to do a product review in use for you guys. So earlier today we did some processing of ducks, and now we're in the evening. We're kind of a little bit more cooled off because that's a hot process to get done. But now we need to vac pack them and get them into the freezer. So a couple of things that we do have tips for you that we'll tell you as we go along. But why don't you guys come on in, and I'm going to show you some of the different buttons and a couple of the other features that are on this machine. Alright, like I said, this is the Cabela's commercial grade vacuum sealer, is the Pro, and it is 15 inches. So here is a roll storage. It also has a bag cutter here. Super nice. On this side here is your canister vac hose. And on the back of the machine here, which I will lift this up here, there is actually a cord wrap, which myself, I really like. I really like that option. Nothing worse than having some cords loose everywhere. The cord itself is a very gracious cord. Also a very nice feature. So right off the get-go, you want to go ahead and turn this on. And then over here, these are the two features that you're going to use the most, which is the auto vac seal for dry. Dry things would be cheeses, or could be anything dry that you can think of. This one we use the most of in our own homestead, which is the auto vac seal for moist. That's for a lot of our vegetables, a lot of our meats, etc. Those are the buttons that we use the most. You do have manual vac seal, which this is very excellent button to use when you're doing things such as cabbage, where you want to vac seal it, but you don't want to crush it, because you'll see why when we vac seal our ducks. And then this is our seal only function, which I will show you this when we are making our own bag sizes. Over here, I personally do not have any experience with the marinate or the canister button. These are going to be two new buttons that I play with this year. I'm kind of curious to see how they work. And that is the accessory port for the canister hose. So I'm kind of curious to see how that works out pretty well. And then, of course, the almighty cancel button. You always need a cancel button, because gosh forbid you find out that you accidentally poked a hole in your bag. Well, no point of going through the whole process with the cancel button. So another one of those tricks right from the get-go, that cancel button, let's say you see your vacuum sealer is sucking up way too much liquid. If you have too much liquid, when it gets ready to go ahead and seal down, hit that cancel button, because you're not going to get a good seal. So don't waste the bag. Hit the cancel button and hit reset. You know, reposition your bag. If you got to put some paper towels in there if you need to. No point of wasting a bag. So now let's go ahead and I'm going to show you making a bag. Alright, so inside here is a bag holder, so you can get a roll. And this is a very gracious container here to buy big rolls of bags. Super awesome. So let's make a bag. So we're going to take this roll. You're going to pull out however much you need. Now, we're vacuum sealing ducks, and we're kind of familiar with vacuum sealing ducks already, so we know we need a pretty gracious bag. Pull this down, and if you're not familiar with like crafting paper cutting, you'll want to just give this thing just a little downward pressure, not much, just downward pressure, cut a bag. And if you can see here, it'll actually stay there, so you can just kind of grab it. We'll close this. Now right here, if you look here, there is a viewing window, which the Food Saver didn't have. So we used this a couple times already, and this was very nice. I really liked this viewing window. So for sealing, you're going to go ahead and open it. And another one of those tricks that we've learned in the past, if you can see your bag has a natural curl, go ahead and put the natural curl into the machine. Because if you're, let's say you're doing it this way, you're going to be fighting that curl. Just go with the curl. You don't have to stick them under these tabs. You can pull it back a little bit if you want to. But we're going to stick it up a little further, and we'll show you later on why. So you're going to go ahead, push it down a little bit. You'll see that it's ready, and you heard that click. You're going to push seal only. And if you see right here, it is sealing. And it is done. You didn't, maybe you seen it on the camera, maybe not, but right here it actually said complete, but it was pretty quick. So if you look here, this has a double seal. On the on the Food Saver, there was only one sealed line. So another benefit of having this much bigger, heavier duty vacuum sealer. So now we're going to turn off the camera real quick, put our duck in here, and then we'll be right back. Alright guys, so now we have our duck in the bag here. And this is why we said to make sure you have gracious bags when you do make them. Our ducks this time were monster sized. So I do have a couple tips for you when you are vacuum sealing or putting anything in the freezer for that matter. One, invest in some freezer paper. It will extend the life of anything that you're putting into the freezer. If you just put your meat in, let's say, a Ziploc into the freezer, FDA is saying only like 6 months. But let's say you do the freezer paper in the vac bag, you're at about 12 months, which is pretty good. That'll put us at July next year, about when we'll do ducks and chickens again. Second tip. After you process your poultry, put them into the freezer or the refrigerator to get them nice and cold. It will suck in all of the moisture into the meat. So when you do vacuum seal them, you're not sucking all of the moisture into the machine, and then you don't get a good seal. Another tip. For the freezer paper, it's not just to make it last longer. It is so when you do have meats, whether it's the poultry or let's say some wild game, when the vacuum seal is pulling it nice and tight, trying to get all of the air out of there, and sometimes bones will poke through the bag. So it kind of protects the bag from the bones. So let's go ahead and zoom in here so we can go ahead and vacuum seal this duck up. Alright, again, remember that tip. Don't fight the curl, go with the curl. So put the curl up underneath of there. And this is another one of those tips. So we're going to put quite a bit into here. So that way we have enough space here to do a double seal. So go ahead and stick a bunch under there. We're going to go ahead and clamp this down. So you'll see ready. We're going to go ahead and hit the auto vac moist. And this is why you want to make sure you have freezer paper, because if you can see here, the bones are starting to get very, very tight into here. And now it is sealing. So it says complete. And I don't know if you could hear it on the camera or not, but it was actually releasing 2 clicks here that it has on each side. You might have heard it when I closed it. You can hear where it clicks in, and then when it's done, it will actually release it. Alright, so it already has one seal. And unlike the Food Saver, when you pulled it out of the machine after it was done sealing, it was super hot. This is not hot. So that's one benefit of this machine also, is that it is a continuous use type machine. You may not be able to hear it on the camera, but there is a cooling fan already built in here that allows it to continuously run. So it keeps it a lot cooler. And you can just keep on going. That's kind of the problem with the Food Saver, is why we upgraded. Because after 20 seals, it needed a break. So another one of those tips for you guys is I'm going to do a double seal. I like to do the double seal just in case, let's say this first seal, in case if there was a ripple or there was a tiny little tear that you didn't see. But I like to go ahead and do a double seal. That's why we said to give it a gracious headspace here so you can do it again. So again, you'll just tuck it in there. Don't fight the curl, go with the curl. And I'm going to lock it down. You heard the positive click. We're going to hit seal only. It will give it a quick little vacuum just to get the little bit of air out of there. And there you go. That is one perfect duck. So I'm going to go ahead and do another duck for you guys from start to finish, super quick. So this is our duck, all freezer wrapped. And here, quick little side note, freezer paper has a dull side and a shiny waxy side. Shiny waxy side goes towards the meat. And I would recommend go ahead and get the freezer tape that's right next to the box of freezer paper. It's worth it, it's just quicker and easier. So we're going to go ahead and slide this duck in here. Try to get it into the center a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and vacuum it up. So there you go. There it is. That is one home raised on the homestead. No preservatives or any other weird stuff that comes in your meat at the store. To the freezer, it's ready to go. So our initial review of the Cabela's 15-inch Pro Vacuum Sealer for $400, that's what we paid for it. Totally worth the money. I would do it all over again. Total step up from our Food Saver, and it can do everything up to 15 inches, which is pretty good. So on the market, you can get bags that are already pre-made. You can make your own bags, which you can get them pretty cheap on Amazon, just so you guys know. So, and at Cabela's, I'm not sure about online, probably online, but some of these parts are replaceable. So like the drip tray and this heat strip here are replaceable. Our initial review, I give it a thumbs up. Alright guys, thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you again next time.